Hey guys, so I thought it would be fun to build some Lego for you today. And I have this set here from the Lego architecture series of the Empire State Building, which is one of my favorite buildings. I see it most days on my way to work, and I thought this would be a fun thing to do. So these are kind of cool things. They have a bunch of facts written out here in the book. So this is architecture, engineering, and construction. On the heels of the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression soon set in, and America's optimism was at an all-time low. During this time, America's labor force was at its highest supply, and the value of the dollar was cut in half overnight. Ironically, it was this combination of events that made a construction project of this proportion possible. Designed by Gregory Johnson and his architectural firm Shreve, Lamb and Harmon, the Empire State Building celebrates the Art Deco movement, exemplifying this style to the highest degree. Often regarded as the symbol of American skyscrapers, a great deal of thought and consideration was demonstrated during the 16 redesigns of the building's design. After all, this would be the world's first building to touch the sky with over 100 stories. Built on the previous site of the famous Waldorf Astoria Hotel, the construction took 7 million man-hours and had a feverish pace of 4.5 floors per week. Iron workers erected 60,000 tons of riveted steel frames into a series of stacked boxes. They became known as skywalkers due to the dizzying heights they worked at, heights never previously attempted. On May 1st, 1931, the building opened after only 410 days of construction and remained the tallest building in the world until 1972, when the original World Trade Center opened. The building is a member of the World Federation of Great Towers, has been named one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. So that's just their little blurb about the Empire State Building. A little cheesy. It's okay. So it has these little facts at a glance section about the building, which I find this stuff fascinating because I'm pretty nerdy and I like architecture. I spent a lot of time just looking at buildings outside, and people yell at me because I'm blocking the sidewalk. That's not important though. So the location is 355th Avenue, New York City, New York, United States, which I believe is also on 34th Street, if I'm not mistaken. I don't go to Midtown that much because it sucks. The architect was Shreve, Lamb and Harmon Associates. Classification, high-rise. Construction type, riveted steel box frame constructions. Materials used were stainless steel, concrete, glass, aluminum, or if you're British, aluminium, limestone, marble, and granite. The year of construction was 1930 to 1931. The height is 1,250 feet, which is to the roof, or 1,454 feet to the tip of the spire. The building's footprint is 424 feet by 187 feet. If you don't live in America, that's 129 meters by 57 meters. The pinnacle type is a broadcast antenna, which is listed here in this booklet as 1,470 feet. So I guess there's some different stats on that, but basically there's a spire on top. There's like an Art Deco spire, and then over the years different companies have put antennas and different things on there. So there's one large broadcast antenna, which as far as I can tell the primary job of that is to skewer the giant peach when James flies the giant peach in the movie onto the building. I'm so sorry. 102 stories tall. The cost was $41 million in 1931. The floor area is 2,600,000 768,000 square feet, or 254,000 meters squared. It's zoned as office, commercial, retail, communication, and observation, and it has 73 elevators, 64 of which are in the central core. And those 64 are the original elevators. I believe the others were added at a later time. Points of interest. The observation tower at the top of the Empire State Building was originally intended to be a dock for mooring airships in an effort to attract international travel. However, after several futile attempts at mooring a Zeppelin in the strong winds present at 1,250 feet, the idea was thoughtfully scrapped. On a foggy morning of July 1945, a U.S. Air Force B-25 bomber crashed into the Empire State Building's 78th and 79th floors, tragically killing 14 people. As a true testament to the quality of the Empire State Building, it was reopened just 2 days later. So those are some facts. Some other interesting facts that I thought were fun about the building was that the limestone came from Sanders, Indiana, which is just south of Bloomington, where IU is. And I'm actually originally from Indiana, and that's one of the few good things to come out of Indiana, quality limestone. It actually has its own zip code, which is 10118. The whole building has its own zip code. And the lights were first lit on the Empire State Building in 1931 by then President Hoover, who pushed a button in Washington, D.C. and lit up the building. And ironically, it was first used to announce the winner of the presidential election, which they still use it for today, in 1932, when FDR defeated Hoover in the election, becoming president. So that's enough nerdy facts about the Empire State Building. I'll move on to actually building the Lego portion of it. So, these base plates here. It's going to be a little awkward to try to find the room to do this. It's okay. Let's see what it wants to do here. You'll have to let me know if this is relaxing at all. It's kind of a weird thing to do. So this looks like the base of it here. It has this little nameplate, if you can see it. Empire State Building. You can display it in your home. I usually display all my Lego to impress women. So, I was always a little shoddy at building Lego as a kid, because sometimes you have to press it in very firmly to get it to lock in there. And I just wanted to play with it when I was a kid, so I just slapped it together really fast. It's actually kind of hard to go slow in this because it's about relaxation and not the efficiency of just building this thing. Now we get to the fun part, some actual building. It's interesting, it's usually depicted as tan. You see like all these old Art Deco buildings are tan, but they were much whiter in appearance when they were originally built. The limestone tends to fade a little bit with age and different weathering. My neighbors are quite loud. I personally believe that they hold clogging practices just to distract me and keep me from doing things I want to do. Hopefully they're gone now. We'll see. I've actually never laid out all the pieces like this before, but it's incredibly handy. Usually I'm cursing as I dig through a tiny plastic bag, trying to find all the pieces I need. I'll remember this for all my future Lego endeavors. Okay, so this is starting to take shape. More pieces here. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, they're over here. How embarrassing. I've outsmarted myself. This is a daily occurrence. So one of the things I really like about these is how clever they are with, these are called stud jumpers, and how they use them to sort of change the proportions that Lego naturally fit, which tend to be fairly block-like. And you can get these interesting shapes out of it. You can see here we have a little more texture to the building now. And Art Deco can be kind of a hard thing to copy with Lego, since Lego's so blocky. Because Art Deco is known for its artistic flourishes, lots of setbacks in the buildings. This could be a hard thing to imitate with Lego. But it makes it sort of an art form, I guess, like anything else. Fun historical fact, this is exactly how the building was built, just like this. They did like these end parts first and then they filled in the middle later. It's not true at all. Let's see here. I did read that the actual building was designed from the top down. So they started with the top of the building and then worked their way down in the design phase at least. And it's actually borrowed in design elements from a couple of other buildings around the country. It's really interesting. This was completed so long ago, like 1931, and it's still very dominant in the Manhattan skyline. It still sticks out. It's quite easily identifiable. You'll see things like the Chrysler Building, which is still very beautiful. It's still a very tall building, but it gets a little bit lost in the skyline. There's so many modern buildings and things that tend to obscure it, but the Empire State Building is still one of the tallest in New York. I believe the New World Trade Center is taller, and also 432 Park Avenue, which is a residential building. More neighbor issues. If they could build the real one during the Depression, I can build this Lego one while my neighbor stomps around. It's okay. this is the big one. This is the bulk of the building. It's cute. Getting pretty close to the top now. So all that's left now is this spire. Which originally it wasn't intended to have a spire, but due to the skyscraper race at the time, competition with the Chrysler building, it was decided they would also add an Art Deco spire on top. Which, if you've seen older pictures of the building before they added all the radio antennae to the spire, it's actually incredibly beautiful. And it looks a little cluttered now, I think, a little trashier with all the antennae on top of it. But that's okay, it's still a beautiful building. So there you have it. There's the finished model of the Empire State Building. And there's a picture here. This is an older picture, it looks like. Probably from the mid to late 2000s. See, it's sort of lit up green here. Empire State Building in Midtown, looking south onto downtown. You can see construction of the New World Trade Center happening here. But a nice photo. I'm guessing this was taken from 30 Rock, which if you ever visit, it's a great thing to do. Go up to the top of 30 Rock and you can see views of the Empire State Building and the rest of Manhattan. It's great. There's some other models they offer, but there you have it. That's the Empire State Building from the LEGO Architecture series.